What's going on, champs? One moment. I'm in a trade right now. Shouldn't be doing this on the stream, but I saw a trade, gotta take it. Give me 1 second there. 5 minutes instead of the 1 minute. 1 minute. We'll do the introduction in just a second. I just want to make sure everything's all good. Okay. Sorry about that. Right, what's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Let me just go back onto the main screen. How you doing, guys? Morning to you guys on Wednesday. Well, it's afternoon actually. Happy Wednesday. It's been one of those days where Bitcoin has pumped quite well, and yeah. So fucking hell, man. I was in an LTC short, which I'll talk about as well. Took the short itself, and I got stopped out. Lost 1 hour trade, and it is what it is. What can you do? You just got to move on. Flip your bias, and you play the game as it is. Right, we'll talk about BTC in terms of where we're heading to and what's the potential place in just a moment there. But before I do so, I'm just going to talk about something. I'm in a trade right now. I'm in a scalp trade right now. I'll explain it right now actually with you guys. So it's having a bit of a technical difficulty. Yeah, please do actually post the scores and what's going on with Japan and Germany as well. I would love to actually watch that right now, but I had a bit of a emergency that required my attention, so didn't get to do a stream in the morning. So here we are. During the New York session, not much of a problem. We are going for a short here. Come on, let's go. I'm up. Yeah, it's a 4.23 hour trade on the scalp really, and what happened was I'm looking at this beforehand on the 5 minutes. I was like, okay, price is consolidating here. We'll talk about the high time frame in just a moment, but I'm just going to talk about briefly just this little price action that's happened today during Asia going towards London, and now we're stepping into New York. Actually, we are in New York Open right now, so you can see that price, right, is capped over here. We've got a whole range band environment there. And if I were just to, okay, let me just remove all this so no one can see anything. I mean, you know the answers already. If you were to look at it, you're like, okay, so price is capped somewhere, right? So we are consolidating, yeah, we're doing this and whatnot. I mean, one, like, it's playing up higher prices. One can say, hang on a second, we've got this is on the 5 minutes anyway. We had what do you call it there? A breaking trend line. I actually, when I came back home, I saw this breaking trend line too late. Anyway, I was in the Uber at the time when I was going back home, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind, can't take the trade because the invalidation will be above the highs itself. And I was like, all right then, cool, never mind. I missed all these like trend line opportunities and whatnot. How do I play this? Price is always in a range. I've always said the same thing. It's never really changed at all. That's the high. This is the low here, and you can see quite carefully, right, what we do have. And the mid range sits around about a little bit higher, around about here. That's where the mid range sits around. Pretty much equilateral between the two of them. And if I were to actually, just freaking put this over there, yeah, bang on. The highs and the mid was bang on. Actually, that's very sharp. That was. Delete that. Do a range band environment. And what I've got here, let me delete this for a second. What I've got here is literally that high here. When we come and this low here, this caps the market support, right? This is what we have is a deviation. Quick, fast wick up, that's resistance. Come back to the mid-range. Mid-range holds a deviation, comes at support, goes up to range high, so that's all cool. Comes back down, bounces off this low here, that holds into place, shoots up into range high and does a deviation. We've got a breaking market structure on the lower time frame already there, and what was happening is coming back down to range low. Once we step back into the range, could ask yourself, the fuck you doing back in the range? And what's happened now, right? I was like, okay, cool then. If we're gonna play from high, from low to high, high to low, back and forth, right? Well, I missed this chunk of the trade over here, right? This half of the trade, not a problem there. I can still play the trade of the chunk of the trade from the mid range to range low, and that's all it is. So now I'm start looking at where is price getting capped at. So I start looking at the 1 minute, right? And I was like, okay, there's got to be something here, right? There's got to be something that's telling me a story where price is getting capped at, and what the fuck is going on? We don't really know what's going on. Is it going to be extremely bullish, or is it going to be fucking time to nuke the shit down a little bit lower, play it within the range, and if we get a break on the downside, we play the break on the downside, which will lead to my next plan of what Bitcoin can be doing, right? So what I was looking at was, all right, cool. Where's the area consolidation? Well, the area consolidation really is around here, this particular area there. You see that? This is where the area consolidation. So you got here on the lower time frame on the 1 minute, you only got 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth candle bar goes back down. bit of a consolidation here on lower time frame, does a deviation, comes back up, acts as resistance, come back down, makes a lower low, comes back up, acts as resistance, that makes a lower low. So I'm saying as a hard stop, you know, invalidations would be around here, to play back down. So if it does come for a retest, that's not a big deal. I'm quite happy for a retest, but I've got my invalidation right here. This is a scalp trade there, so let's say that's where your stop is. And I think, where's mine? I think mine's a little bit lower, a bit more tighter. Yeah, mine's off this high itself, this particular high itself. But really, that's playing it slightly more aggressive than usual. But I'm expecting lower highs, right? I mean, if I were to do a trend line kind of thing, let's have a look. So we've got this high here. You can, I mean, yeah. So we got this, right? I do not want to see price get back above this. Makes sense. You can see that quite carefully. This is all on the 1 minute. This is a scalping session here, guys, as well. So fucking, you know, shout out to the fucking scalp. Smash the likes, man. You gotta give a smash on that. So I got this trend line over here. See his resistance. See his resistance over here. This low here holds a support. Support. We come back down, do a bit of a deviation, but we come back up and into this area of consolidation to send back lower. So now I do not want to see price get back above the horizontal line. So if price were to come back to the horizontal line, I want to see the come back down, break down, come back to these lows here, take out these lows, and let's go a little bit more lower to take out, you know, go back to range low. That's all it is, pretty much simple as that. Now, if price were to get back above and hold into this low over here, you know, holds the trend line and it holds this, there's a lot of confluence there, and then I'm like, all right, you know what, I've got to cut the trade because we might be able to take me out, and I don't want that to happen. So we'll see how he goes level to level, right? So I'm in that trade right now, so we're going to have to focus on this one before we even talk about freaking Bitcoin and Ethereum. I haven't done a thingy, a live trading session in quite a while, actually, so this will be quite interesting. Feels a little bit rusty, isn't it? 30 seconds, let's see what the 30 seconds do. Let's bring up the ranges and whatnot. So we're coming to the mid-range at the moment, and yeah, it's not too bad. So let's have a look what we got here. Can I do a trend line here? Yeah, you can make a trend line out of this. See about this one over here. Looks like support, actually. So we'll see how it goes. Really and truly, I don't want to lose. And it just so happens the area that I highlighted right over here, this low over here, is the mid-range. So I don't want to see it come back up to above the mid-range to hold above it. If it does, then I'm going to have to look at cutting the trade there. So we'll see how it goes. 4.2 free trade from my entry itself. And yeah, once I saw that spike up and it closed below it, right, off this area here, approximately, yeah, there we go, around this area here, then I was like, all right, cool, that should be it. And it just happens, the second spike up, it spikes into it as well in 30 seconds. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's, it give me enough confluence to say, yeah, we're gonna go down lower. So let's see what happens. Obviously, we got some inefficiency here. This little area here is all this inefficiency there to fill out. So I don't mind it coming back into here, back into the mid-range. Lose this thingy, find that as resistance, play it back down, and at the same time we've got the trend line there. We'll see what happens now, right? We'll just see what happens. In the meantime, give some shouts. Who we got here, man? 29 people here. Smash the likes, man. Show me some love there. So we got Jammer, what you saying, brother? These squeezy trending environments are not my forte. You know what? It's a range. It's always a range bound environment. We'll talk about Bitcoin in a second and why I think it's still a range bound environment. Come up to the 30 second there. I do not want to see it go any higher there. I want it to see capped right here, right particular here. I want to see us close below this line here on the 30 seconds to give me more confidence. Say, okay, cool, we should be okay, right? So that's the 30 seconds there. I want one candle is not enough, right? Yes, we got resistance, but I want it to come back down. I need to have a down candle here, and let's go down lower, man. Let's do it. So we'll see how it goes then. Yeah, so who else we got here? We got Jammer, AI, what you saying, brother? Vale's in the house as well. We got Burn League. We got Steven, Steve TN. Sorry, my mistake, not Steven. Steve. We got John in the house. Offside by Japan. No. What's the score with Japan? FOMC meeting minutes later today. Yeah, it's true. That's why I'm looking for little scalp trades, small day trades, and that's it. FOMC is happening. Oh, fuck off. Come on, man. Reject off this. Yeah. FOMC is coming to let's see. Come on. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send down lower, man. Okay, cool. Double top on the 30 seconds there. So as a scalp trade, I know there's liquidity is going to be hunting over here and then over here. That's as a scalp trade. And because we come down here, I want to see us. I don't want to see support over here. I want to see us get back down below. Let's go to my target there. So I'm good to go. All right, so yeah, carry on. I'm a bit more confident about the trade, so I can actually carry on with that. You got Sebastian in the house. What's going on, brother? Derry here as well. Gandalf, thank you, bro. Just stopped to show some love. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Can't listen today. Work is an absolute shit show. I'll watch it later. Can you evaluate in the LTC chart today, trying to find an entry? Yeah, I would definitely evaluate that as well. LTC, I've already got in preparation a higher time frame range that we're playing. 2019 is the range we're playing in, so that's an interesting thing. We'll talk about that in I think with LTC as well, because I got stopped down the trade as well, so I've got to review it myself. And like, I don't just review the trades for the sake of just reviewing it, saying yeah, I can review the trades. I review them because it's for me to tell me, hang on a second, you've got something wrong. Why did you get it wrong? You got it wrong because X, Y, and Z. So and then for me, it's more of like a learning experience as well. It's like my own journal that I do, and I recommend everyone else to do a journal. I still do it till this day. Just like I got stopped out on LTC, if you guys are aware. Took a trade quite aggressively on that one. Looking for a mad one though, to be honest. But I have my reasons behind it. But we'll explain it in a bit. Come on, man. I don't want to see this high taken out now. That's the thing is, you see this double top right there? You guys might not be able to see it on the green. Let me just hide this for a second. Fuck off. Triple top. 25 seconds, motherfucker. Come on. Triple top. 15 seconds, come on. Fuck's sake. Come on, man. Just send it back lower, man. What are you being a fucking little prick for, innit? Alright then, cool. Triple top. Let's hopefully. I don't want to see quadruple tops. What are you saying, Pirate? How you doing? Fucking Hugh Janice is in the house. We got Adam. We've got freaking Hunter Hunt. Good to see you here too as well. Mike here as well. Morning to you, my brother. Well, afternoon here. Skinface saying, been a rough day. Glad to be here with the family. Bless you, my bro. It's always a pleasure having you around, man. Who else we got? We got Trading Nutcut. What's good, man? Obviously, Pirates in the house. Everyone's more focused on what Pirates doing, isn't it? Looking forward to the hot market tonight. Yeah, after FOMC, that'd be an interesting one as well. I'm doing a session with BC Ridgefield later as well. That was just really random, to be honest, as well, on the Burbness. Basically, some geezer asked for like they would like to see a scalping session like with Richfield and myself in it, and I was like, yeah, with the legend BC Richfield. The next thing is, well, I'm getting involved in this whole scalping session. Obviously, I'm not gonna turn it down because there's a lot of entertainment for you guys as well, and then there's like alpha there, so I'm not gonna say no to it, but I kind of said yeah. So yeah, I got a session with Richfield tonight. So shout out to Richfield. Big love to him as well. Good, really, really good lad, man. Got nothing but love for the geezer. He's a proper sweetheart, man. Come on, man. Don't make me a fucking quadruple top. Just hit my target so I can actually get on with the show, innit? Oh, man, I'm running out of water and shit. You're fucking with me here, yeah? Mark is taking a piss now, innit? Come on, son. Come on, son. Let's see what the 5 minutes are saying. Do that. Oops. I need that. 5 minutes. Alright, so we got 5-minute candle on the upside, closing $33, 3-minute 35. Okay, cool. Same time, what we've got here. Resistance is off this low, so that's you can say that's perfectly fine. There's been resistance there. Very key level on that SR right there itself. Why? Well, you can clearly see that was all support here for 15 minutes, and on the 20th minute shrank down, retest. This is a retest where I entered into it as well, and it's come back down. So like from this low here, you can tell that it's bearish market structure. I mean, invalidation is here, right? That's the truth. The invalidation is there. As you can see, the market structure is like low, higher, low. Higher, low, high. Then got lower, low. That's a higher, low. Then we make a lower high and come back down, crashing. So it's a breaking market structure. So I'm in a scalping point of view. It is legitimate to actually take a trade on a short there. Actually, to be honest. So that's that there. Fucking that's cold, man. Let me close the window. Fuck's sake. Yeah. So yeah. So in terms of market structure, it's perfectly fine. In terms of range, it does make a lot of sense too as well. You got to admit the fact that it's now from range high to range low. Yeah, high to low, low to high, a bit of a deviation, mid range. I mean, we've taken out this stop loss there. The fact that we've taken out this stop loss, if it was to be bullish, right, on a breakout, on a breakout, this low has got to hold. But really, truly, we just lost slow there. I mean, you can argue with the fact that this is bounced off this, this area here, right there. That's where it's bounced off to. So I mean, you can argue with that. It's not a big deal there. But I want to get back into this box now. I don't want to see it keep holding support. Yeah, I may be in profit like 1 hour or something like that, or 1.5 hour. But I want to get back into underneath here. If I can send it back down to this motherfucker, go into here, lose this shit there, come back there, and we'll see what happens, man. Wick off there, have a quick wick, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, if we're gonna go down on the downhill, it'll be interesting. But if it's not gonna go on the downhill, we'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, we like scalping here, man. Yeah. Oh, pirate, bless you. How do I journal? That's an interesting question, Hugh. The way I used to journal back in the days really was I used to have mashallah, it's coming back down. Well, we'll see. What's it? 1 second. 1 minute. Okay, we'll close down here in 1 minute. Now I want to see. Let's get back below this particular low. That's the area we want to. I might just highlight this body there. But basically, it's this little area here. That's what I want to get below. Let me highlight that there. This is the area I want to get below. So yeah, okay. Yeah. So in terms of journaling is an interesting one that you asked for as well. It's really like important that everyone do journaling. Whoever trades as well. It's the most important thing in trading really, because that's your proof of you improving as well. So what I used to do, you can get these free little journaling little Excel formats on Google. I'll show you right now actually. For example, if I were just to open one up, Google, delete. Let's have a look. So you got like free trading journal Excel. For example, and let's have a look. Go to this one for example. And this is, yeah, you can download the free journal itself, and then literally you just, well, this does everything for you as well. But what I used to do, my old one, right? It's on my Mac actually. What the fuck? I don't want to become a profitable order flow trader, bro. I'm shit. What are you talking about? We'll go back into here. But yeah, so literally like, or you can, there's like these free journals one, and you just input your data, or you can do what I used to do is pretty much have like an Excel sheet, and I'll be like the trade so the chart would like BTC USDT, then I'll put the date and the time, and then I'd say what position was I in? Was it a long or a short? And I'm like risk management, always put risk management has to be accordingly. So when I'm in this scalp right now, I have to manage my risk accordingly, which means the stop loss, I'm not putting too much capital more than necessary into a scalp trade or even a swing trade or day trade. You can't be over leveraging your account. And then like you talk about like if you hit target, the description of the chart itself, and to explain why you took the long, why you took the short, because it came off this range bound environment, consolidation, this and that, you explain that, and then you talk about like did the target hit, yes or no, and if it did, great, happy days. No, explain. Then you go back to it and you start looking at why did it not hit. That's the important thing. Is like you got to start figuring out why did the target not hit, because there's no point in you taking a trade and saying, yeah, take the trade, you get a couple of wins and you get a couple of losses. Okay, you got a couple of wins, a couple of losses. Overall, you might be profitable. I don't fucking know, but let's just say you are profitable by a couple of wins, a couple of losses. But you didn't take the trade. You didn't journal it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're not journaling it, you're gonna start noticing you're making the same mistake over and over and over again on a particular trading style, right? On a particular view of the market that you had, because of your bias being bullish or bias being bearish, and because you were leaning into this and you were seeing this, but you missed out like block B something, for example, or a fair value gap or all that kind of stuff, right? Then you'd be like, you're just gonna make that same mistake. So if you start journaling it, what you're doing is that you not only is it you're registering in your head where is your errors, you also start registering in your head the ideas of what to do next time, so these errors can never happen again. So it's a pretty much win-win situation if you ask me. I mean, the only downside out of it is just it takes a bit of time. But really and truly, you really fucking gonna actually complain about taking about 5-10 minutes of your time just to write down a few shit, and then making sure that like making sure that you've got it correctly. And because what I do, right, is at the end of the week, right, on a Sunday actually, that's a lie, not a Saturday. Saturday I was just chill out. On a Sunday, I just sit down before I do like my outlooks, right. I look at the trades and start looking at what I did wrong, and I'm like, okay, cool. You're reviewing it, and when you're reviewing it, then you start saying to yourself, okay, I kept fucking up off a range bound environment because I kept doing the same thing. I kept being bullish at resistance, and I kept being bearish at support. And you're like, hang on a second, it's a range bound environment. It's something simple as that. And you're like, okay, I need to be patient and take my time. And when you start seeing it, like, for example, a range bound environment, you're like, oh, hang on a second. Last week I fucking got stopped out like 17 times, fam. Like, what the fuck was it about again? You go back to your journal, you start looking at it, you're like, because I was bullish at resistance, at range high, and I was bearish at range low, and that kind of view. So, oh, my nose, fucking hell. Okay, this is taking too long, man. This is a bit of a pain in the ass, man. I fucking send it down, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really want to get out of this so I can actually go do the fucking review. But yeah, we're just giving alpha out for free. You know what it is. That's how we do it. So, Yuri's in the house, man. What's going on? Jordan Doherty, good to have you here. Joe Crate's in the house too as well. I'm in the scalp trade for those who just joined in. Just to review it one more time for you guys as well, and for those who just joined in, for those as a reminder. Okay, so obviously price, we were well aware of what happened in terms of crypto. We'll come back to the mid range, the bastard. Fuck that. But anyway, as in, yeah, we know what was well aware. This was Monday's range itself. Just a quick review there. That was Monday's high. I don't know if you can see actually on this really light fucking blue. Let's make it as like fucking lilac. Is it lilac? I don't fucking know. Let's make it fucking, yeah, that color, and then make it 2. All right. So my stop loss is at 31, and we are in 13. Okay, I'll see what it is. I'll see what happens. I'll come back to my fucking review. We'll have a look at it in a second. Quickly as a review, what it is, this is Monday's high. This is Monday's low. Do the stop run. We hold this low over here. Oops. Hold this low there. I think it's wicking down. So we'll see. We'll see in a second. Yeah. And then we come back to the mid range. We held at 25% of range, and we smashed above it. Clean breaking market structure. I was looking for a retest around here. Would be great. Or even at least he has a minimum to play the trade back up to range high. But instead, it just didn't. It just kept going. We have the first leg. The first leg up, consolidation. We have the second leg up, consolidation. Now are we gonna have a third leg up and then consolidation, then break down? Like the oh fuck, I'm getting stopped out. Let's have a look. Don't fucking don't piss me off, blood. Okay. Yeah. Bastard's gonna stop me out. If you're gonna stop me out, stop me out. So another loss for the day. It's a scalp though, which sucks though, but it is what it is. Don't do it. Don't do it, mate. Come on. Come on. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be a dickhead. 8 seconds. Come on. 7. Get below the mid range. Come on. Come on. Don't be a dickhead. Okay. So we closed above the mid range. We wicked into it. I need to give myself a reason to cut the trade now. Okay, we do the stop run into this area on the 1 minute. Right. Into this area here. That's where we come into. And yeah, being a good dickhead there. Cool. So really, I'm glad I put my stop above that high there. So don't know if anyone's into it. I'm not, again, nothing's financial advice, but we gotta be a bit cautious now here. You know what I'm saying? So Yes, we have a stop run over here. There's liquidity resting here. We've done all these stops there. What's the fucking bounce? Okay, so the bounce we need to lose is this low here, because this is the area where we bounced off from. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. A 1 hour trade at the moment. Come on. I don't want to cut it. You know what I'm saying? VWAP. Yeah, man. A lot of people talking about volume WAP in it. That's what's cool. Something like that. But I don't use that stuff. I do need to evolve my style a little bit. Appreciate that, Harry. Really appreciate that. Germany 1-0. Fucking yes, let's go Germans. Sorry about this. Who scored? Müller. Who scored? Problem when you're trading with a fucking thing in it. Didn't say who scored here. Turkish geezer. Which geezer lineup? 1 minute. 1 second. 1 second. Fucking bastard. That's not it. 1 second. 1 second. Turkish geezer. Gundogan. Oh, it was Gundo. Like, you know, that guy is fucking mad, you know. I ain't gonna lie to you. He plays for Man City, yeah. That geezer, like, his pass is unbelievable. Really, really slick, though. Really, really slick. I think I'm gonna cut this trade, though, you know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like this trade at all. I'm gonna give it. Fuck's sake. One second, I need to focus on this for a second. Fucking, I'm getting sidetracked with fucking football, man. It's still respecting this on the 1 minute. Let's have a look. This is being respected right over here. That's the figures that's getting respected right here. That's the area that's getting respected. So I'll have to see how we do. Do we come back here and close above here? And I think I might cut it. The thing is, when you're scalping, right, you always got to thingy. You've always got to give yourself a reason to cut the trade when you need to cut the trade as well. You don't have to. Sometimes, like sometimes I cut the trade a half an hour, or maybe at a small little loss, or maybe like if I got like a 2 hour trade, I got 1.2 hour, and I cut the trade itself. You just gotta give yourself a reason to just say fuck it, walk away, and we'll see what happens. If it hits target, hits target. If it stops me out, it stops me out. That's the idea when it comes to scalping. So you gotta be very careful. 9 seconds. Come on. I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm gonna get ready to cut the trade if I need to cut the trade. 3, 2. Oh fuck! I hate when you ask me for my fucking authenticator. 1 second. Okay. Alright then. So I've got this up there. I'm just gonna have to be a bit cautious here now. I do not want it to come back up now. Don't fuck me up here. Come on. Don't be a little dickhead. A lot of dickheads in the market. You're not supposed to be one of them. 30 seconds. Let's see what the 15 seconds says. 15 is here. Didn't close above here. Okay, didn't give us a clean smash above that. That's fine. 15 seconds still looking alright for shorts. Let's go up. Step it up to 30 seconds. 30 seconds again. Same thing as well. Didn't give us that clean. Oh, it did. Bastard, it did. There's a 30 seconds right here. But why is it respecting this? Okay. So I'm quite happy to keep that stop loss there. 1 hour. Actually, let's have a look at 1 hour. 1 hour closing in 22 minutes. And we're indecisive. We're back at the hourly open. But we close into here. So yeah. Alright then. Okay. So we close into there. Above this high here. See this high? We close above here. So I'm quite happy with that as well. Well, not close below. We whipped into it as well. So we should keep on going. Let's see, 15 minutes. Fucking using the hourly on now. Dude, actually give me compliments on this fucking trade. Damn. A little bit of a fucking inefficiency right over here. If you guys can see that right here, is that small inefficiency there. Alright, then we'll see how the 15 minutes close. 7 minutes. 15 minutes, what's finding resistance in 15 minutes? Let's have a look. Let's hide all this. It's off this high. It's off this. If I want to narrow it down, I can use this. The fact that we're closing below here is good. Alright then. What time's FOMC? Is at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Do you know what, guys? I'm quite happy to risk the money on this on the scalp. I'm gonna get cracking on. Oh, wait 1 second. Let me, before I do so. Morning TCX, how you doing, brother? Give me a second. I'm just gonna go refill my water, and then we get cracking in just a second there. Right, I'm back. Alright, let's go. Let's get cracking. Alright, so what I'm going to do then, I'm quite happy to risk that. Morning, Circuit. How you doing, brother? Right, so I'm quite happy. Oof, before I even say anything, let me just quickly double check. Am I really happy? 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we close below here, the mid-range on the 5 minutes. Alright. So I'm quite happy to say, yeah, that's the deviation of the mid-range. I don't expect this high to be taken out from this area here. So really and truly, let's just see how it goes on. If it hits target, it hits target. We'll check on this every couple of minutes here and there. I've got my eyes on it as well. So my stop loss is 6531, 16531, and we'll see what happens, man. Underwater in what way, Circuit? So yeah, let's get cracking. All right, so let's just do the review. Dollar index quickly. Let's have a look. Try to squeeze past it. So what's happened there? We're still playing in last week's Monday's range. Really, nothing's really changed out at all from yesterday. Well, it did. What's changed is the fact that we was above the Monday's mid range, right? So then all we've done, we've come back into the Monday's mid range, and it's just range bounding, really and truly. If you look at it this way, we've got deviation on both sides now. Now the question on dollar index is which side does it go? That's a deviation there, that's a deviation there. I wanted it to retest that 108, to be honest. Never did, so bit of an inefficiency right here, didn't fill out. No problem, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Still range bound in this area. Do we keep playing about up and down? It is FOMC today. I don't think it comes right there. Yeah. So what you call it? It is like FOMC today. Come at mid-range. I don't really expect things to be so volatile until after FOMC. So the safest option really is actually in reality is you can play prior to FOMC on a scalp trade, right? But at the same time you also need to keep an eye on what the you can play it as a scalp trade, very short term, or you can play little small day trades here and there. Wouldn't risk it too much. It is we got like freaking 5 hours left before FOMC starts, so be a bit cautious about that, to be honest, in my opinion. And then see what happens. I mean, if FOMC gets back below here, then shanks back below, does a bit of resistance, yeah, send this back down to range low, and then we'll see what happens. Does it break down? Does it finally break down and lose a low and take out all this liquidity? We don't fucking know just yet, but we'll find out very soon. At the same time, you can still see that there's a bit of a trend line going on. Yeah, it looks like we've broken the trend line. Looks like we've broken the trend line and gave it a retest, so at least come back into range low, which makes sense. From here, we'll see what happens. Do we come back up to mid range and the range high, or does FOMC holds the mid range and then we can play it back into the range high? Then from there we'll see what happens. Do we get a bit of a breakout?
to come back up to fill out this little area here first, and then fill out the inefficiency over here. That's the gap, and that's the inefficiency. So we'll find out very soon what's going to happen. Now, S&P is actually holding above the mid range, right? So there's a bit of a range bound environment that's going on in terms of what. So what we got here, we got a few things here. September's high, September's low. As you're aware, we did deviation September's low. We come back up into the mid range, held the 25% range, come up to the 75% range. I mean, we're still looking for a retest over here into the mid range. Will be great. Play it back up to the 25, 75, and then we can squeeze it up with all this inefficiency over here and get up to mid to range high, and we'll see if we can squeeze up to the 2021's mid range, which comes around 4225. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be a lot more clear after FOMC really. So let the data, let the fucking, what you call it? Go on, Billy. Let the fucking data come out, and then let it do its thing, right? Let it do all this wicks and craziness, and then you step in afterwards, right? Let me quickly just check on to this trade here. Yep, we're going well at the moment. So US weekly jobless claims at 240,000. Wow. Last week was estimated 225,000. It's out already. Fucking hell, this is not good. Also, new data on the employment US in 45 minutes. Let's have a look. Let me quickly just open up the fucking what do you call it? Forex Factory. Not with it right now at the moment, isn't it? Let's have a look. So Wednesday, what we got here? So USD over here at 130, which is already out. We got unemployment claims. Oh yeah, unemployment claims came out for 240,000. Fucking hell. That's the forecast was 225,000. Last week, previously, it was 223. So we've actually gone up quite drastically. That's not fucking good. You know, that's not really fucking good. You know, fucking hell. We'll see what happens there. So we got fucking flash services PMI coming out soon as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and FOMC is going to be a big one. It's going to be a very big one. We're going to hit my target soon. Bismillah. Let's see what happens. I'm happy to play a separate trade on a breakdown from here to fill out all this inefficiency to play back into Monday's high. And then what it is, we've got the consolidation down below, breakout, retest. We'll see if this is if it holds above it, we play on the upside. If it gets back below Monday's range, we play back down, and then we'll see what the fucking deal is, really and truly. Quick one, guys. Does anyone know about this? Right? Let me just show you something. Right? Give me 1 second. What's the geezer's name now? Fucking can't remember. No, I've probably in tweets and replies or likes. It's on the likes actually. I just want to see if any of you guys know this actually. Where is the geezer? Where is the fucking geezer? I'm making a lot of shit here. Where is he? Nah, I saw it. I saw it early on. I know I'm sending a message. All right, 1 second. Let me just pull this over here. I don't want to show you DMs and whatnot. Profile. No messages. This geezer here. Let me show you this geezer. Right. So you know this geezer here, right? Baron Spawn, right? Shout out to the geezer. He was the first guy who actually talked about SBF and Almeida and FTX back in May 14 actually. So big love to this geezer there. But he said something about here which I'm quite really fucking intrigued about. What was it? Waiting for police reports in the next 2 days, so then I'll be able to post everything. Last post was deleted for this cause. Exactly. Who got to see? If you are lucky, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, this was it. He goes, another tease and a direct public question to CZ. It is correct that Binance forced the Whale that bought S&M to sell all the supply he bought, and as a result to liquidate himself and retailers. It is correct that Binance called the user personally. Please CZ, Binance inform users that you are aware and you provoke the S&M dump by limiting the buyer account and forced liquidated him and your users. Admit and tell the story yourself. I have hard evidence recording with CS support emails from Abu Dhabi Binance. Fucking hell. I got more CZ, a lot more. I got court orders, court files, chainnesses from 2020 with Binance hacks that were unreported. I got conversation emails forcing customers to sell, or otherwise their account remains suspended. What the fuck? I mean, I'm not here to spread FUD in it, but is this fucking legit? You know what I'm saying? We will work to have it resolved within the next 24 hours. Separately, if there are any particular reasons you have decided to trade the SNBDC pair, I don't know. I think this is a support thing and whatever. But this is mad because he goes on, right. He was like, keep your funds away from Binance and NCZ Binance. I'm not spreading FUD. I'm just passing on an information, and I'm hoping someone actually knows what's going on. But the fact that he called out SBF and FDX back in May 14 gives me a bit of a leniency to be like, you know what, I want to listen to what this guy has to say really as well. He goes, keep your funds away from Binance and CZ. After the last 72 hours of information, I got stay the fuck out of BNB. I don't have any position of BNB. It is pure warning. Take it or leave it. Stay the fuck away from Binance. I do want to know what the deal is. Let me give that a smash like as well. Because I receive my own FTX. Okay, that's some bullshit stuff. But yeah, like if you guys see you soon when I'm allowed to publish some trustees receive some of them so they know I'm not tripping. Binance is bad, and you Anon gave it a blink of an eye for an exchange in the Cayman Islands. I don't know. I'm really interested in to see what this happens. Wow. Hey, retarget. Yeah, it came up as a notification. Mashallah. That's it. I'm just gonna post this up actually. 5 minutes. Because we did do the explanation, right? So I'm not in a rush to actually fucking hit anything else, right? That's a 4.2 hour trade, man. I'm gonna post this on Twitter. It's always nice to actually do to show that I haven't lost my edge. You know what I'm saying? Very confident about that. So I'll carry on with the conversation. By the way, I've always said that, but you did, Pirate. I know you did. That's the thing is, and that's why as soon as he said that, I'm quite interested in that shit. I'm not thingy. I'm not fucking saying that like, oh yeah, when Pirate talks, fuck Pirate. I never will say that. Never, ever. You will never catch that from my mouth. In fact, I'll always have your back over anyone. But like I was curious as I was like, yo, he's actually seeing something. Like, you know, I want to know what his details is. If you got some, and Germany scores, mashallah, alhamdulillah. You know, I am team Germany when it comes to the thing against England. I have to go England, you know, and whatnot. But I know you're kidding. 1 second. Was it 4.2? Oh, cool. Because you know what's mad though? I'll tell you something though, right? I'm not looking for hype or anything like that or anything bullshit like that, right? What's mad is this, right? So, if those who follow me on Twitter would have seen this trade here, an LTC short I did, right? And I got stopped out. And as soon as I got stopped out, right here, I put stopped out -1 hour. As soon as I woke up, I saw that fucking, the email, the email really, and the notification. I got stopped out. It's a really good trade, but we'll discuss that in just a second. And like, it was one of those things like my DMs were getting mad in it. So I was like, there's people like talking shit in it, and it's all good in it. For me, it's a bit of fun. Yeah, for me, it was a lot of fun and whatnot in it. Because at the end of the day, right, if the trade goes well, the trade goes well. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well in it. Now, what happened is what you call it, fucking. So like, I'm just bullshitting in terms of like on Twitter, just having a bit of fun here and there, and yeah, man, it's been a bit of fun. But the funny thing is when you hate, like when you get haters in it, they're mad go for haters in it. You see them, it's mad because when you're winning, they stay quiet. When you're losing, right? And the funny thing is when you're winning, there's people still hate, people still talk shit and whatnot. I don't really care. It is one of those ones, the what, like if your own brother can steal from you, right? I'm not like this is a whole different story. That was yesterday actually. Put it this way, my blood brother, I want to put it out there as well. I think he's a dickhead. Jacked me quite heavily, right? Jacked me quite heavily and whatnot. Well, it didn't jack me. Jack my this. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, fuck it. I'm a little bit upset about that. Like I'm more upset not about the loss. I'm upset like when you got your own blood, just does something quite horrible to you. I mean, it's one thing talking nonsense and whatever, but it's another thing to actually go and do something disgusting anyway. But I mean, I wish him the best of luck. I don't really want to hear from him, honestly. All he's got to do is apologize for what he's done, and you hurt your own mother and whatnot. For me, it's one of those ones. He's still blood, unfortunately. If he does come out my door and he asks for help, not because I'm obliged to help him or whatever. I'm gonna help him. I will have to help him. He's blood in it. Anyone who asks me for help, I've not said no to anyone. But yeah, I've just been had a really freaking shitty morning, and well, the 24 hours has been quite shit for me, to be honest, as well. The last 24 hours has been really, really shit. But you got, and I told the guys at DC briefly what happened as well, not too much in detail as well. But obviously, like, and the key thing really is, which I was saying to, like, I was saying this on the group in it, and like, we all have like emotions, we all have certain things that run for us, and we have family politics, we have friendship politics, we have politics in terms of like work and whatnot. We all have bullshit in it. Now unfortunately there's no Discord sale. Unfortunately, it is $100 though. That's the thing, is £85. It's pretty much the cheapest on the market, really, to be honest, if you ask me. And for what you get a lot out of it. But yeah, I thought about having a Black Friday, maybe a Discord sale. Then it'll become like Black Friday, it'll be Christmas, it'll be Easter, it'll be freaking Eid. It'll be a lot of things, but it's like $100. It's not a lot. But in my opinion, what I believe is you get a lot more out of the $100 itself. It's not like I need the money itself, but it's more of a, you flood out all the people who are legit and who's not legit as well. Because you do get some people, like, even till now you get DMs. I get DMs all the time. They go like asking for my, like, for advice on their trade. And back in the early days, right, I was in I'll be honest with you, in the early days on Twitter, when I was like, a couple of thousand, even 10, 20,000, I was doing this. I was helping everyone, 30,000 followers. I was helping everyone who was ever DMing me to help them on a trade. And I'd give them my verdict on an idea. Wouldn't teach them, but just give them an idea to help them, and then like, and whatnot. I was doing it for free. And I thought to myself, hang on a second. Like, the same person who asks for help, right? When I get a trade wrong, you're very quick to actually send a message on Twitter and say, go fuck yourself, I hope you die, I lost all my money, this and that. And you're like, bruv, like, I swear to God, I'll probably spank your mom's ass in there and she'd probably suck my dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, but anyway, so, and then I thought to myself, you know what, so I chilled out for quite some time, and I thought, let's do a proper service where I'm helping others out there, because it's not just, look, it's not a sell signal. Don't think it's a sell signal. If anyone thinks it's a sell signal, I'm waiting for if there's a fucking deviation to come back into it, so we'll have a proper plan. Oh, okay, he's going to move a bit fast without me. If he's a move without me, he moves without me anyway, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how price reacts around here, 16.4k. Yeah, and like, yeah, so like, I was doing all these things for everyone in it, and I thought to myself, you know what, fucking, it's not, yeah, I was saying, it's not a sell signal, right? Don't think it's a buy signal, sell signal. It's none of that shit, right? We don't do that stuff, right, on the DCC. We have a lot of ideas. There's a lot of concepts and education content. It's helping you become more of a profitable and successful trader with help. And look, I make mistakes on trades, so it happens. Like, you're never going to meet someone who does 100% trades all the time. It never happens, actually. I may get 2-3 weeks non-stop of 100% success rate, but the beginning of November has been quite poor, and I told the guys it's been a bit poor. So towards the end of like beginning of the first week of November, I was like, yo, I'm gonna sit out a little bit because I'm not too cautious. And I believe on other groups itself, you won't get much signals in terms of, not signals, like charts in terms of when to trade. They wait for many days or many weeks before they actually enter a trade and whatnot, because it's just higher probability. But it's I share my trade ideas, I share my ideas, and a lot of the times, like, when I enter in, I do say I've entered in. And we do a lot of like voice channel where we, in the afternoon, we spend like an hour or two, and we just chat about the market, chat about anything, about cars, whatever you want to talk about. Same time, look at a few trades here and there. People got questions, ask their questions, and I'm more than happy to help. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, okay. Let's light this up. Now the target hit, I'm more relaxed now. Alhamdulillah. Made the money back that I lost from LTC quite easily. Well, yeah, I made more than that back, actually, from a 1 hour loss. So I'm quite blessed there. So that's mitigated the loss plus some profit there. So we can actually trade as normal now. So FOMC is quite key. So you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this as a whole, right? It's all nice and hanky-panky to actually look at what the fucking trade is and whatnot, and look at what the fuck the price is doing. But let's do a fucking little bit of a top-down analysis for you guys. So we can have a flush of ideas, like flush out all the bearishness and the bullishness, and let's just see what the market is looking like. I think it's really key that we do this, because the reason being is that you don't want to be stuck into the idea of being bearish. Because if it is bullish, right? If it is bullish, we'll take the longs. Question is,
How bullish would it have to be for me to say, you know what, we've got a chance to go to 30k, 40k, 50k, 60k? Like for us, right? Like I'll be honest with you. If we look at the monthly chart, you have to look at this, right? Number one, the first key area we need to realize is this: the previous all-time high is that support. Was that support for like 5 months itself, and then we fucking lost it. So which means there's a possibility that we can come back up, right? At the same time, find that as resistance, because whatever it was support becomes resistance when we underneath it, break down, we take a short off. Let's say you can use this as stop loss if it doesn't stop me out, whatever. If it doesn't do this, fuck off. Too many fucking control Z's there. Right? if it does something like this, stops me out, and then bounces, gets back below it here, bearish market structure, then I can say, yeah, entry into here, stop loss over here, play back down, take out the lows over here. We'll see where the range we're playing at, and then we look at taking out the lows over there, and then we can see we can come back into this particular area here as an extended target. And then from there, we see level to level, a bit of inefficiency on this side to fill out, which comes to about, I think, 12k, I believe. The high comes in at, just 12,086. So that's the possibility there. So the monthly does look bearish. You can agree with that, right? Just because, look, we've got 7 days left of the market, right? Doesn't mean 7 days of the market we are gonna fucking climb up like a motherfucker and do something like that. That is not gonna happen in 7 days. Well, you can't rule that out. Nothing's impossible in this world, right? Bro, no one thought fucking the pronouns he, she, and they, this, and me too, and you're me. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. Fucking hell. I don't get that. Does anyone get it? But yeah, as in like unexpected stuff. Look, if COVID can drop the market down, who knows? We might be able to kill cancer and nuke the market back up. I don't know. We'll see. Anything can happen, but the probability of getting above the monthly open is really, really slim, right? If I were to focus on this area here, right? What have I got first as resistance that I need to worry about on the upside? Well, we've got this low here to actually worry about, which comes into about, let's draw it again, which comes into about here, and that's 17.5k. And then the next area we need to start worrying about is this area here, which comes into around 18, I believe, 18.1k. So we got a little bit of an area. So look, we don't know what happens. This is like a dead man zone here, really, really dead man zone. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if this is gonna do something like that. Comes into this area, range bounds here for a little bit, breaks down, finds resistance off this low. Then we can say, yep, I can short the market back down. That's a possibility. I'm not saying no double tops, whatever. I'm making this shit up, right? Anything can happen to play it back down, take out this low here. So we are making the range of November, but we're far away from October's. This is October's low. We're far away from October's low. Where would I get bullish is once we get into October's low, I'll be like, all right, on BTC wise, got October's low, October's high. If we get back into it, I'm going to play back into the mid-range. From the mid-range, play back up to range high. Then we worry about this afterwards. Just play level to level. That's all it is. So you're looking to bid the weekly open? Yeah, potentially. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. So on the weekly, what's going on? We've got 61 people here. We can smash the likes, everybody, man. Show me some love. What you saying, though, man? So on the weekly, there we go. Yeah. So on the weekly, what do we have here? Well, quite importantly, right? Yes, we fucking had a horrible, fucking nasty week right here, innit? There's a nasty ass week there. Last week, we're below this range here, and what we've got here, we've got a stop run of the week before itself. Let me just draw this out properly. We've got a stop run right here, as you can see. Let me just do it a little bit high, a little bit of a stop run there, and we've closed within last week's low, right? So with the fact that we could close in last week's low, we are playing within last week's range. So now I can start ranging it into this area here. So we got we'll have a mid range, we have a range high and a range low, and we reclaim the mid range. I know I can play into here. Forget this for a moment. This is a separate trade there. This is if you want a separate trade. Is this going into the mid range of this is very possible, right? But that's only if we break out of this high over here, hold above it, then I can say, yeah, continuation phase into this area here, and that comes into about what, fucking probably 18.6k. I don't know what it is. We'll work it out in just a second there. But that's the potential play. But let's keep it within the level of play, right? Morning, AAA. What you saying, man? Yeah, let's keep it into that there. But it's really important that we have the view of that week itself, right? In case, right, if price after FOMC, let's say FOMC on Monday's high comes above here, it reclaims and holds above it, right? And it ranges in this area, I'm happy to take the long to go into where the first target I have to go is like the mid-range between the range high of this week here and the range low of this week here. Then I play back into the mid-range, from the mid-range, see what happens. And that'll be target 1. Target 2 will be off this low here. Target 3 taking out last week's high. Then that's it. Not last week's high, that weekly high there. And then from there, we'll see what happens. Does it go to 21k? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I really can't tell you. But if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we'll work it out level to level. So at least we have that idea, that view there, right? So in terms of a bullish view. Bearish view though, let's just be honest, right? We've got, like I said, same thing. That low, which we run the stops, come back into last week's low, right? And we've got this range band environment. Now, if we were to be bearish, right, and then shows bearish market structure, I have to look here at the minimum target from these highs here, right? So if price like FOMC comes back down, it does something like this, plays like that, gets back below this key low here. This is a very valid short to play back down to here, back into these highs. Very, very easy to play, and that's pretty much it. Just like how we have the breakout to play into the mid range, it's the same aspect that we have on a breakout either off this low here or this high here. So that last week's range is going to be a key factor. Now that I'm saying last week's range is a key factor, I'm going to have to actually fucking highlight this shit, isn't it, right? I mean, look, you can clearly see, right? And it just so happens, right? Look at last week's high, right? Just before we do any discussion. Oh, let me delete that. We don't need this no more. Fucking hell, that's a long time ago. What the fuck's that? Yeah. We got last week's high. Let FOMC do its thing. Let it do its all messy bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Let it do whatever the fuck it wants to do. The moment it gets back up and hold above it, I can take a comfortable long, knowing that my probability is increased to go back into here, into 18.7k, which is actually fucking July's low. July's low, then we'll see what happens. But I do want to see what last week's high is. Does it come into here? Well, we'll have to be honest. Target 1 will have to be 18.3k. That's target 1. And then target 2 will be 18.7k. And that's it. We'll see what happens. If we get back up and do something like this and reclaim and hold above it, then we can play target 1, target 2 to monthly open, and then see we take out these highs there. And then we'll see what happens there. And then we've got the mid-range. From the mid-range, we'll see what happens, because then we can say this was just a deviation. Because once we step in, if I delete this, right? Once we step in, right, because it's a lot of ranges overlapping, but you want to keep it as nice and simple. Once you step into here, right, you're above this weekly range, the highs and thing in the mid-range itself. We step back into the July's range. We then say this is a deviation. Then we can say, yeah, target 1 off the 25%, let it do its thing, and target 3 is at the mid-range, which comes into about fucking 21.7k. From 21.7k, we'll see what happens. Do we break down and come back down? I don't know. Or do we come back up and go up higher? Possibly. But we'll have to work it out when the time comes, right? There's nothing to be extremely excited about. We've got to take it a little bit slowly, one step at a time. What are you saying, Mr. M? How you doing, man? Yep. That's right. So, okay, FOMC minutes is today. It is today. So, we'll be a bit cautious of that. So, that's BTC on the weekly aspect. So, let's just draw that range that we need, right? That's the range bound environment. That's the weekly high, weekly low. It does come into Monday's range. That was Monday's range, actually. So I'm going to put it as orange. That's the weekly high, weekly low. And if I go on the daily, right, we have Monday's range, which we've broken out of it, right? So I can actually then mark as a separate target, right? A second separate thing is this is Monday's high. That's Tuesday. What the fuck am I doing? This is Monday's high, right? Let me highlight that in blue. So I do not forget that's Monday's high. Let me do a range bound environment of this here. Monday's low, we know what that is. At the low itself, it just seems to happen, right? Actually, yeah, fuck it, let's do that. That's the high of Monday's, and because the mid range comes just at the range low itself, just at the range low. So we know 18.75k is gonna be. Let's just draw it in. Actually, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just draw it in. Coordinates 15,870. Copy that, and let's paste this over here. Right, and I'm gonna put this as dash so I know it's the mid-range. Right, so I can delete this now. I don't need this no more. Now I know what's going on. So let's go on the hourly. Let's see what the hourly is saying. So we're looking to break down from this fucking trend line. This fucking thingy that we had a short on. I should have fucking held it, bastard. But never mind. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, 15 minutes. What's the 15 minutes saying? So we've come back from last week's mid-range and we're finding resistance. No problem. Now, I'm quite happy to say, if I want to get into a range bound environment, so we had this range. Remember the fucking 5 minute range that I had? Let me just try and draw that in. It was literally this area here, that low, this high. That's where the range was. So I want to see how we get onto here. So if I'll put that as purple, right? So looking at this, right? If we can get in, right? Come back into here, right? Whatever it wants to fucking do, maybe step into here. I'm happy to take a trade with a stop loss above these highs there, and then play it back down to the mid range, and then look for the. I mean, your confirmation really. Actually, fuck that. Let's say how I'll be happy if you want. Let it do its thing, right? The moment it comes back down, breaks down, shows bearishness of these lows itself. Pretty much, you can see that's going to be capping the market there. That's your signal to play with a stop loss above the deviation of this of the range low to come back down to where? Back into Monday's high, and that'll be a separate trade, a short trade there. Really short, like again, short term. We're not looking for anything like extravagant. We're not looking for something crazy, right? We're just gonna see how it goes level to level. Nothing else. Nothing else. All right. So all we gotta do now, let it do its thing. Once it gets back below, as soon as it gets back above these highs there, bullish market structure. You know that's your confirmation to play back where to the mid range. From the mid range, right? We have to wait for FOMC. We can get some nasty weeks. I'm not too sure. I'd rather wait after FOMC. I mean, look, there's two things, right? After FOMC, it's gonna be in this area of this dry dead zone over here, which is between mid range and Monday's high. So that's fucking gonna be a bit of a scary one. I mean, where would I get bullish, right? Oh, that's fine. We're going 50 minutes. How would I play this, right? Is a separate thing, right? So we know we got liquidity resting over here. At this high here, this is where liquidity is resting. Okay, everyone understands that? So what we got? That's the Monday's high. This is last week's Monday's high. So if price comes back up into the mid range, holds above it, reclaims this area here itself, right? This will give me an opportunity for me to long back up to target 1, and then we can squeeze up to target 2, and that's taking out Monday's liquidity. Then from there we'll see what happened. The bullish plan, which we talked about, going to 18.2k and 18.7k, is as discussed as previously, right? Using the last week's range. But how would I play the bearishness now? In this particular area here, it's a dead man zone. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you here. If I highlight this area here, this is all a dead man zone, right? You know why? Because we've got a fast move up, right? And it makes sense to at least to retest this, to fill out this inefficiency there. Does it come back into these highs to fill out this inefficiency here and then reclaim? We don't fucking know. But which is why it's a dead man zone, right? Because it could be bullish, it could be bearish, it could be bullish in this way, or it could be bearish once it gets back underneath the Monday's high. Shows me bearish market structure. This is a deviation of Monday's high. Then we play it back to where? The mid range. We've got all this inefficiency to fill out. Then from there, if it holds above it, right? Because it just so happens this is the range low of the weekly. Because if price comes back down, does something like that, reclaims the Monday's mid range and shows bullish market structure, I have to cut the trade to play it back up into where? 25% of the range, looking at Monday's high, squeezing into mid range. Right? That's one way of cutting the trade from the shorts. But if it was to be a continuation of bearishness, get back below the weekly low, bearish market structure, play it back down. Let's take out Monday's low, and I think Monday's low. And all we've done, we've taken out liquidity from Monday's high and Monday's low. And then we'll see what happens. Do we break down as we discussed on the bearish plan, or does it hold above it and play it within Monday's range and then in and out, in and out, in and out? That's all it is. So we gotta keep it an eye on that. Okay, does that make sense? That's Monday's range, right? Now let's go to Ethereum, Ethereum, the motherfucker. Right, let's see what it's doing. Okay, let's have a look. We're about the weekly open. That's all good there. Weekly open is gonna be interesting there. It's gonna be interesting at the same time. So let me just delete this. Right. I really wanted liquidity to be taken out here. I had a trade, right, I had a trade, I think, went over here or somewhere around here with a stop loss above there, so it came back down. I really want to take out this liquidity down on the bottom side. Let me hide my face for a second so you guys can see. You see there? That's what I really wanted liquidity to be taken out over there, but we didn't take it out. We bounced off it actually. They literally just held it. I'm gonna show you right now. So for this low here, see, just fucking dollars, man. Just fucking dollars. But never mind. It did what it did. And I tightened my stop loss to here. Got stopped out without a quick wick up, and it moves on. So we just move on. It was in profit, so it's not a big deal. Do you think Elon Musk has any P left over to buy Man United now? I don't think why he would buy Man United. I mean, is there any profit for him? Is there any gain for him that should go into Man United? That's the thing is, um, because what it comes down to, it's not about buying Man United. So it's also it comes down to actually, um, reinvesting money into Manchester United. If what Cristiano Ronaldo said is true, and he actually he's been dismissed from Manchester United yesterday. It was all over the World Cup and all over the sports news as well. But what Cristiano Ronaldo was saying that what you call it, in terms of the facility hasn't changed, nothing's changed, the pool hasn't changed, the training ground hasn't changed, the gym hasn't changed, the chef hasn't changed, according to him. But if what he's saying is true though, then there's money that needs to be invested. So you're gonna need to put a lot more money in there as well. I think it's an Arab needs to take it, in my opinion. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, you got, like, no offense to the Americans, but Glazers fucked it up, man. Like, he didn't do shit. Didn't do anything. And there's been protests of Manchester United for such a long fucking time. So it's time to fucking have a change. And I'm quite happy that Glazer's coming out. And it's time. I mean, I've seen this protest happen for over a decade, for a long fucking time, for as long as I can remember. Protests have been going on since the moment Glazers bought in, and so it's who's got the money to really pay for a lot more than $1 billion. Not just buying a club. Buying a club is one thing, but they've got to invest in it. The investors have got to invest into this as well, and really put some money into it. So the only people who's got money, really, in my opinion, is the Arabs or the Chinese. Those are two. Look at fucking Newcastle. Newcastle bought by Arabs, man. And these guys are they're not nobodies. I shouldn't be saying that, but they've been fucking popping like a motherfucker. Anyway, so this is it. So let's just talk about this now. Qatar, Saudis, Abu Dhabi all have brought teams. Chinese, yeah. I don't see Elon buying Manchester United. He's never expressed any interest in Manchester United. He has expressed it in Twitter, right? And which is, we're not really surprised by him buying Twitter, but he hasn't really expressed any interest. So I don't see why he would buy it. I mean, if anyone say, like, it's just clout chasing, in my opinion, to actually say, like, yeah, Elon, let's go buy Manchester United, bro. Like, in my opinion, I'd rather have a fucking Arab or a Chinese own the fucking club. I mean, look at Man City, fam, bought by Arabs in it, and they when they came in with fucking fire, fam. They were buying Sami and Nasri, they were buying Kun Aguero, they were buying fucking everyone, man. Like literally, they had peas and they were spending it left, right, and center. That's the type of fucking team you need as well. Owner. Yeah, I said a few weeks ago he was interested. Oh, was he? Nah, you're fucking with me, Carl. You're fucking with me, my G. Let's see what happens. Anyway, so let's quickly. Where were we? So same thing with Ethereum. Let's just quickly see what's going on in terms of the daily. We are still within July's range, right? Why do I have this? Oh yeah, the black line is October's range, right? That's October's range. We're coming up towards October's low. We'll see if we have any deviations, a retest, but we'll see what happens. What I want you to focus on, you've got July's low, July's high, deviations there. We take out the highs over there, come back down, resistance, and then we come to the mid-range, quick fast pump up, come back down to the mid-range, lost the mid-range, and we're holding around the 25% range. At the same time, around the 25% of the range is October's low. This is October's low, that's the mid-range, and that's October's high. We did a quick stop run in November, smashed it back down, deviation, came in as support, then we come back down as another deviation, potentially. So if it is a deviation, let me just remove that for a second. If it is a deviation, what will happen is we'll come back up, hold support, come back in, we play it back at the 25%, then play it to the mid-range of July's mid-range, and squeezing into October's mid-range at 1426. We'll see what happens if we do something like this, reclaim and hold above it, let's continue up higher, level to level, and then if you see, we can squeeze back up to July's high. I don't fucking know, but we'll see what happens. I think we'll get capped. Well, I want to see what we do in October's high, really, before going to the macro range over here. So it's going to be interesting enough to see what happens there. So that's one factor there. The second factor we got, let me delete this shit. Second factor we got is we got last week's Monday's range. Okay, let me just drop down onto this as hourly, right? So what we got here, we are finding resistance at last week's Monday's high. Monday's low, right? So this is Monday's range, last week's Monday's range. We lost it, come back up, retest it, bit of a deviation there. Now the question is, if it loses this, play it back down. Weekly open is the target one, so quick short there. Let me just delete all this and let me just extend this a little bit more further. Cool, awesome, perfect. Now, what I was saying is, let me put the 15 minutes. At least you guys can see a bit more class into this fucking chart. So what we got here, right? So we got Monday's low, and now the same time we know Monday's high. Let me get Monday's high. Where's Monday? 21st, right? The 21st. That's the high, and that's the low. And that's the low right here. Okay, cool. So, oops. Right there, that's the low. And the high comes into about here. So you can see this is Monday's range. Make that blue. So for a quick scalp trade, we need to actually fucking be a bit cautious about this. Let me change that color so we don't confuse the two together. And then we gotta be a little bit cautious here. In what way? Well, similar to BDC, we got a range bound environment here, right? So if we were to lose, we are still range bounding here. We can go to the mid range, back into here, right? We can still range bound this area here. I'm not too interested to trade right now because FOMC is coming in I think. Take care, Pirate. Speak to you soon, man. Group what? Oh yeah. But getting Daink live FOMO, so I'm sticking here. Ah, bless you, bless. Nah, go buy your Group innit? Need some Group. Make some for me later as well. But yeah, so what we got here is this now. But this, fuck's sake, mother. There we go. So what we got here, we got this range low over here, and we got this particular range high. Oops, this particular range high over here, right? That's where the range band environment is, right? Now, as long as we hold this low here, bullish market structure, back into the mid range, back into the range high. That's the key there. Ping pong this shit until it goes on back and forth now. Now, if it was to be a short, right? If it was to be a long, how would I play the long? Get back up here, reclaim these highs over here. That's all. These highs over here are all getting capped. Hold above it. This is my entry there. I can put a stop loss over here, for example. Play back to 25% of range. Watch out for October's low. So if we come back in and starts breaking down, I'll have to start looking at cutting the trade there, right? Unless you want to keep a wider stop over here, and that gives you a little bit more of a breathing space to actually analyze the whole situation. And if we actually step up, we got from here, do something like this, back into this area there. That's target 1, that's target 2. And then once we reclaim this area here, then we can go to target 3, which is the mid-range. From the mid-range, we'll see what happens to we actually get back up, but we'll have time to talk about it tomorrow or the day after. We'll see what happens there. The next situation is for a quick short that we can actually look for. Is this literally. So we've got this low over here. Once we lose this low, right, let it do its thing, come back up, get capped into this little area here, this SR right there, come back down. Once it loses this area, bearish retest, bearish market structure, take the short there, hard stop over here, quick scalp into Monday's high, and see how we get into the weekly open. Weekly open is going to be a key thing as well, because then we see if price comes back up and holds, get back above Monday's high, cut the trade, we're going to go back up, and we're going to see retest this area. We'll see what happens there, level to level, really. Nothing more else to say, to be honest, as well. I know Pirate needs to go get some group, so I do want her to go and head off and do what's right for her kitchen. So that's it, really, actually. Nothing else, really. LTC, I quickly touched base on that, actually. I quickly touched base on this. So what happened was, we had the LTC pump, right? So around here, right, when it was just about $69 itself, right, around here, I was like, all right, cool. So what do we have here? So if I go on the 4 hours, let's go on the 4 hours. You see a few things now, right? It's all based on certain things that was happening. Number one, what we got here, let me bring this up there. This area here is a range band environment. This here is a key SR. There's a lot of deviation over here, deviation, resistance, and we come up, bit of a deviation, find a bit of resistance here. So I'm expecting this to be a key SR, right? The second, so that's the second thing. The third thing in here is this. What we got here is a consolidation of price action where we had resistance, sell off, we come all the way back up, resistance, resistance, sell off, right? So I'm expecting these highs to hold. I mean, a hard stop would have been over here. That's where your invalidation is. But to be honest, it stopped me out in one go. It doesn't really fucking matter. But it still be 1R. What happened was, I'm like, okay, we are coming to this. So my explanation with this, my reasoning was literally this. We are coming back into a key area of resistance. So I put a sell limit at 71.30 at the base of that consolidation. And I think the high went up a little bit higher than that to 71.32. Actually went up by 2 cents. So he went down. I'm like, cool. Then I saw this price action was happening. Let me go on the 50 minutes and start showing you the picture, what I was looking for and how I was looking for to play this game, right? There's a few things. Number one, let me delete this. We all know we got stopped out. Number one was this, right? So it started to form, right, like a trend line. So I had this trend line going on here. I'm like, all right, cool. Is this really a trend line here? And I was like looking at this here. Obviously, I was fucking asleep at that time, but I was quite happy to get stopped out over here
and I wanted this high to be capped. And I was looking at this particular area here, and I wanted this to be an area of, you know, like I'm fine for it to come back up, break down, lose this fucking low over here, play it back down, fill out the inefficiency here, back into this range high. That'll be target 1. Then we see what happens if we get back below it. Play it level to the mid range back to range low. That was the key factor, is because this is acting as resistance, and I'm expecting it to be resistance. Instead, it shut up. You know, the trade was fucking wrong. No problem. I couldn't really fucking foresaw that at all. But now, where is it coming down to? It looks like it's going to come back down as a retest. So if you were to hold above it, reclaim above this thingy highs, should bullish market structure, I'm happy to play it back up into this little thin purple line here, which comes in at $87.06. That's the way I like to look at playing it. Why would I look at that? Well, let me just show you this on a higher perspective of things. So hopefully you guys can see. Actually, it might be a bit too thin for you guys. But what we got here is a range band environment. We've got 2019 low, 2019 high. Here's the mid-range, 75%, 25%. That's all it is. Simple as that, nothing too complicated, okay? So if you were to look at this particular here, price is being support from this particular range band environment. You see that? See this range band environment? That's all here. Get up, support, there's a bit of a deviation of it, comes back up, support, shoots up to the mid-range, and goes up to the range high. Obviously, we have a bit of deviation, we shoot up a lot more higher. We wick into all-time high. Didn't do anything crazy, but that's what happened. So what's happened now to me is that, okay, if we are playing a range band environment, I'm quite happy, right, to play up to the mid-range, which means playing up to the mid-range. Let me just zoom this out like that. There we go. Cool. Playing up to the mid-range means like this, okay? This is on the daily. See the fast move up there? I'm not too keen about this fast move up, but at the same time, I don't mind this area of inefficient to be filled out. So like I said, if it were to come back into the range low, let me just try and drag this across. There we go. Let me put this across like that. At least we have something we can look at. Looks a bit more nice and not too squashed up. I don't need to feel like fucking claustrophobic and shit like that. But come back into here. Do whatever it wants to do. Reclaim and hold above this. I'm happy to take a long, right? To play it back up to $87 and whatever the fucking number is actually. $87.18. That's a very, very easy trade to play. And then from there, we'll see what happens, because is that going to be at the mid-range? I expect the mid-range to cap the market itself. Does it come back up? Find some resistance off these lows, particular lows here. I mean, I hate when this happens. Off this particular low here. And then maybe a bit of a deviation. I don't fucking know, right? We got this area consolidation right about here. This is the area consolidation. And I want to see us get back below here. Breaks down. I'm happy to take a long, short, hard stop over here. Play it back down to 25% of the range. Want to get back below the mid range. Then we can squeeze it back into here. Look at the 25% of the range. And let's try and get it down as a swing trade to 2019 low. I do think lower prices are going to come. I don't think this is going to be over. Reason being is like recession. Recession is quite heavy. And if we have a Fed pivot, I explained to the guys quite clearly in the DCC, if we have a Fed pivot, I don't think that's going to be very bullish in the market in terms for stocks. The tweet says it all here. I won't touch base too much onto it as well. I don't want to bore you with the details, but let me show you. Where the fuck was it? There we go. Analysts and economists are looking forward to a Fed pivot. I agree it's coming soon, but the market will rally before the announcement of the pivot, which is what's happening right now. We are rallying. We haven't even had an announcement of the Fed pivot, and making new. A rally before the announcement of the pivot, before making new lows. I'll be shorting personally. You can fight against the history or join me. Good luck, everybody. I'm honest. Good luck to everyone. If you think this time is different, well, good luck to you as well. I mean, look here. I'm not going to go too much in depth, but you can see back in 1969 we had the Fed pivot, and just quickly touch. We rallied up. The Fed pivot came down, and we shut down. 73 rallied up, start coming down, shut down. 1981 rallied up, Fed pivot, come down. 2000 Fed pivot, come down. 2007 Fed pivot, come down. 2019, it rallied up, and then bang, obviously had the COVID drop as well. But again, it's the same thing to 2023. Is this time different? I don't fucking know. If it is different, then we should get above these highs there. Then let's go higher. Then we can play the bullish play. But for me, it's always been the same case as well. History repeats itself over and over again. But I'd be very cautious there. So if we are coming for an announcement, look, I'm saying this right now here with you guys there. There's 35 people here, and I left the last key alpha for you guys and everyone else who actually left. It's their loss anyway.
But the truth is, right, if we do have some hinkling idea of a Fed pivot today, from this FOMC minutes meeting that's going to happen today, what could happen is the market rallies up, right? Because they haven't announced officially it's a Fed pivot and whatever. It's all minutes meetings and stuff like that. Markets rally up, and if they have an announcement saying like, yeah, we're gonna do, we're gonna pivot in December, whatever, you be prepared to start looking for shorts. Play the market in its range, whatever it wants to do. I mean, look, let's say this LTC, it gets back up to the mid range, holds above it, and shows bullish market structure, goes to 75%, then goes up to 2019 high. Let's just say it does that, all right? Like, we know as a range band environment, once we get back below, we can short the market back down, right? But if they say it's a Fed pivot, right? Get ready to start shorting, whether it's like range high, like on 2019 high, or the mid range or whatever. We don't fucking know, but just play at key levels. That's my opinion as well. I'll be very, very cautious. I'm gonna stick to that idea. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If it really is this time is different, then it's different. But I don't think there's a chance of it being different. We're just playing on guessing games. We really are playing guessing games. So I don't want. Look, I'm not looking for any type of guesswork over here. Fucking BTC's dumping a bit lower now, bastard, isn't it? Should have fucking kept that low, that play, I'm saying. Would have been a nice little play there, but what can you do? I'm happy to take that win, to be honest. So it is what it is. Let's see how far. We were not too far from Mondays though, so we couldn't get a trade into it. Even then, you see how it's the fact that it's coming. That me personally, I would have not traded it. I would have not entered in, right? Although it's come off to this low, right, and it's found resistance. Although it's whoops, you guys can't see it. Sorry, my mistake. There you go. Although it's come off this low here, and it's looking like we're coming back into Monday's high as well. We'll work out what happens. I would have taken the trade there. I would have liked to have some sort of deviation into here, come back, and then say, yeah, I got a clear defined risk. Otherwise, I have to put my risk over here. Well, off these highs, off the swing highs to play down here, and the risk to reward wouldn't be that great. So I'm happy to sit on the sideline now. Let FOMC do its thing. From there, we'll see what happens. And tomorrow we'll have a proper plan of what the fuck to do as well. We'll do this properly early in the morning anyway. So that's it for me, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Although it's a little bit late in the afternoon as well. Well, the key thing really is, looks like I will keep my 16.6550 short longer than expected. Bless you, my bro. Fucking killing it, man. Nice. Did you enter in around the same time I did for that trade, or did you enter in with like a different kind of trade? Do you think with FOMC meeting price could all sweep all the past month's lows, stop everyone out, spring up just for Thanksgiving for ETH? That is it. I don't know, bruv. I mean, which low are you talking about? This month's low. I mean, we've swiped up a lot of lows already, for Ethereum. We've swiped up a lot of lows. I mean, let's have a look. I mean, the only low that I can see to swipe off, really, because we're making November's low right now. That's what we're doing. Only the low that we can swipe off is July's low. You know what I'm saying? That's the only low that's left there in a monthly. I mean, if we were to come back down and hold into it, I'd be quite happy to take a long, play it back up, higher prices, because it's a range band environment. That's the only thing. But we'll see. I think the chances of it. Look, I can't really say what the chances are and what the chances are not, but it could do that. Yeah, you're right. It's a 10% drop. This is FOMC. Anything can happen. The FOMCs and the CPIs and all these things, these drops has been quite shallow lately as well. They haven't. The spikes up and down hasn't been too great. Oh, you shorted from an hour order block. Nice. 12-hour premium short area. Nice one. But yeah, FOMC, really and truly, you have to wait for FOMC done. I mean, what we're going to do, actually, guys, in the DCC, we'll do a session after FOMC or during FOMC, something along the lines like that. And then we'll make the plans like properly there in terms of what we can look for. So that'll be something we can do. Yeah. Just trying to think now. Interesting question, though. Gotta give it to you. But yeah, that's it really for me. So I'm gonna call it a day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. See you soon. See you soon. Bye, everybody.